Alrighty, hi there folks. For everyone tuning in, my name is Carrie. I am City Market's Assistant Outreach and Education Manager. I'm the one who's been sending you all of the emails. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. A couple logistic things for me, and then I'll turn things over to Audrey, our fabulous instructor for the evening. You all are watching on about a 30-second delay. So if you're like, why haven't they gotten to my question yet? Or I just asked this, why isn't it up yet? You're watching on 30 seconds delay. It comes into us. Maybe we've answered it, and then there's another 30-second delay. So I promise I'm going to try to get to all the questions. We occasionally have sound issues with our equipment. It's something that I'm working on trying to find a solution for, but just know that I am also listening to the live stream, so I will hear it, and I will try to do my best to fix it. So again, if you're like sending in, oh, the sound's glitchy, just know that, again, 30-second delay, tried to fix it, hopefully fixed it, another 30 seconds. But that won't happen, it'll be fine. There is a question and answer box, so if you have questions during the class tonight, you can put that into that box. I will go behind the scenes and type an announcement into that so you can see where that is and how to access it. And I can either type you a response privately if it's something that I can answer as a City Market person, or I will ask it out loud to Audrey while she's teaching and at an appropriate moment, lull in the action. And the other thing is, if you're joining us a little bit late, down near the bottom, there's a button that says live. You can hit that and it will catch you up to where we are live rather than starting you from the very beginning of 10 minutes of this will start shortly slides. So I think that's it from me. I'll go, like I said, behind the scenes. You might see me again 1 or 2 more times to help Audrey with something, but mostly I'll be behind the scenes. Audrey, take it away.
Okie dokie. Hi, everybody. Happy nearly spring. Hopefully still have a little bit of winter left. I hope we still have a little winter left. I think a couple of other Vermonters hope so as well. Where's everybody from? I'd love to know what your snow situation is. If I should maybe.
We have in Arlington, Virginia already. They know the drill.
Virginia. All right. Well, so today we're going to make a really so simple. I feel like most of the recipes I've been making have been pretty complicated. The last dish wasn't that complicated, but the whole making it on the camera was complicated. So this is a pretty simple, straightforward recipe. And it's so simple and straightforward that we decided to complicate it by adding an insanely delicious and yet very simple dessert. I don't know if you have the recipe for that yet.
No, but I will get it from you, and then I will send it out to folks tomorrow.
So it's cherries poached in red wine with a honey mascarpone cream served on it. It is so simple. You're not going to believe how delicious this is. So I highly recommend you try it later, maybe over the weekend. So this green curry lentil soup, this is super simple and fast and hearty and super healthy. And you know, I didn't really think I was gonna like it that much at first. When I tried it, my husband and I just love it. So strange. It just didn't seem like it would be our thing, but we absolutely love it. So I wanted to share it with you because it is really easy to make. So the first thing, oh gosh, I forgot oil. Oh no, I do. I have the oil. Sorry.
It's been a day, right?
Yeah.
It's
been a month.
Tuning in from San Fran, 46 degrees and windy, and Ruby saying hi from also San Fran. So we got some San Fran folks in the house. Welcome.
All right, so you guys have the recipe, you guys and gals, you people have the recipe there. Let's just read over it together. So we're gonna heat the coconut oil in a large saucepan. It doesn't have to be that large, it doesn't make that much soup, from what I remember. And then we're gonna, now since it's such a long time that we can be together here, and I want to be with you as long as I can, and such a simple recipe, I thought I would just chop and talk and take questions instead of having everything at the ready. So that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, we don't design these classes as cook-alongs, but this is probably one that people, if they did shop in advance, could cook along with you, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. You're going to do a lot of the chopping now. So
Yeah.
let us know if anybody is cooking along or if you're going to try it at another date. We're about to get hit with a crazy snowstorm here in Burlington, so this would be a great snowy, warm.
Please, please.
Yeah, I say that, and then we're going to get like.
No, don't say God. I'm so scared that it's not going to happen. We've been getting the wool pulled over our eyes all winter. It's very disappointing for someone like, well, if you're a skier, or I think most people in Vermont love our snow. Not everyone. I find it so strange when you're friends with someone and they're like, oh God, I don't like the snow, and you're like, why do you live here?
Yeah, go
why
move
would
somewhere
you live
warm.
here? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop, there's a small onion and 2 cloves of garlic, finely chopped, and 1 piece of 1-inch ginger that's been peeled, and that's finely chopped, or you can grate it. So I'm going to get the chopping done while we talk.
Yeah,
so,
there's already a couple questions if you want me to throw some questions at you.
Yeah. Wait, I just want to show you. This is the way I peel my garlic. And so you just have your whole clove of garlic here, and you just give it a smash, and then see that? How easily this skin, oh, that was a little heavy on the smash. But, and then you can, well, I smashed this garlic, but it doesn't matter because it's getting chopped. But it really does make it easy. All right, so what are the questions?
Yeah, well, we have someone tuning in from Lansdowne, PA, kind of my original neck of the woods-ish. Welcome. Ruby asks, in the recipe, the green curry paste is store-bought. Is there any way we can get a homemade version or recipe? I'm trying to eat healthy. Have you ever tried to make curry paste before?
I haven't. I'm just curious, what is in this curry paste that might make it, if there's anything in here? There's actually absolutely nothing in here that would make it unhealthy. As far as I can see, it's just green chili, pepper, garlic, lemongrass, spices, salt, shallot, and lime peel. I don't know how they keep it stable
Canned.
Without preserving it, but I guess those are just ingredients that don't need, that work together, almost like a pickling type of thing, I guess. But I don't know how to make my own curry paste. So if you figure it out, then you should come over here and teach me how to do it, or email us.
Yeah.
What else? What do you got? Any more
we have
questions?
Peg from Auburn, Massachusetts, who says it's so nice to be here. It's nice to have you, Peg. And we have someone asking, I have red Thai curry paste. Is that okay to sub the green or without a flavor clash? I think the red and the green are pretty
I think they
different,
are
right?
pretty different. And I'm not an expert. I don't eat a lot of curry, but I think it's a totally different flavor. It's more like a hot flavor, and this is more of a mellow, herbaceous kind of flavor. So it would change the flavor of the soup.
It might be really good, but it definitely wouldn't be this soup, right?
Yeah, especially since it says green curry lentil soup. But I don't know. Do you love red curry? Maybe you're going to create something beautiful from your red curry paste, green lentil soup. Give it a try. Let us know.
Yeah, send us pictures.
Yeah.
This is my red curry soup.
My red curry soup kicks your green curry soup butt.
And we also were realizing earlier that this is pretty much vegan if you do vegetable broth and leave out the fish sauce.
Yeah.
It's vegetarian already, but it's vegetarian if you do veggie broth, but we're using coconut, or oh my gosh, words. We're using chicken tonight.
Chicken broth.
This would be a great entree if you're serving to vegetarian folks.
Yeah. So now I'm going to chop 1 small onion.
And we are trying to highlight local ingredients this month.
Yeah.
So we are using garlic from Pete's Greens. We're using onion from Full Moon Farm. We are doing Laughing Child sweet potatoes, which if you're in the area are the best sweet potatoes, and I love their story. Like that's all they grow. They are a sweet potato farm, and it's so much fun.
Where are they?
I forget. I can Google it really quick. And then we're also using spinach from Trillium Hill, which is a really great local place that's been growing some nice winter spinach for us. So just want to give a shout out to a lot of our great local producers who are putting in the work to keep us well fed.
And what is the Locals Week here at City Market? What is, it's just a locals appreciation?
We just like to celebrate local in the month of February because it seems like it's sort of that, oh God, winter's still going. There's not much other than like storage crops. There's no green, but we like to highlight the fact that we have a lot of producers in the area who are growing in greenhouses and providing us, keeping us locally fed even in the dark, cold months.
Yeah.
You know, it's easy to eat local in August, but February sometimes feels hard, and we like to highlight those.
Right.
They're in
fabulous.
Paulette, Vermont, Laughing Child.
So I don't know. I mean, there's a million ways to cut onions, but I find this to be a pretty good one. You just slice your onion in half and then cut in leaving about almost an inch, depending on how great your knife skills are. 2 slices like that, and then how sharp your knives are. Then you're going to cut sort of 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch little slices. I picked a dull knife, so having it.
I can get you a new one.
Okay. And then, so look, you've got, and then I just make slices and then it's diced.
We have someone commenting, I love yellow, red, and green curry. So yeah, make this soup with all 3 and see which one's your favorite.
Yeah.
I like yellow curry too. Yellow curry is very warming.
Yeah, I love curry soups if I go out to eat or something, but I don't really use it a lot in my own cooking that often. So, which brings me to a very important question. What do you guys say? Do you say often or often? Now, I know it's supposed to be often. Why is that T in there? But I hear so many kind of fancy people that say often. Thank you. And so I'm just curious, what's the ruling on often and often? Ooh, this is a nice one. Why'd you have that hiding from me? Is this a personal?
Nice. Because they're very sharp. And
personal knife of yours?
No, I got 2 new smaller chef's knives for the kitchen.
Do you see how easily that's going in? So this is why a sharp knife is actually much safer than a dull knife. Because I had a real hard time getting that other knife in there. I was like, ugh, and it could have slipped and cut me. This one is just sliding in so easily.
Yeah, I need to sharpen all the knives, but the problem is I got to do it when no one's in the offices because it's very loud and they look at me concerned. I got to come in on a Saturday or something and sharpen all the knives.
Yeah. Whew. What have you guys been cooking lately that you're loving? What are some of the, any favorite dish that you've been making lately for these late winter months?
Yeah, give us some cooking inspiration, those of you who are watching.
Okay, here we go. Now I'm going to heat up 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, and you really should use the coconut oil because it really gives it this great flavor.
We had someone asking, why is it important that it specifies virgin coconut oil? Like, what's the difference between the coconut oils that it would specify that?
Virgin versus not virgin?
I think there's like refined and virgin.
Yeah. I think it's a bit healthier for you, but I'm not quite sure. Now this is a recipe. Maybe I should have written that down. This is a recipe that I interpreted from Bon Appetit. What's that word that you use? Not interpreted, but adapted. Adapted from Bon Appetit, and it's fantastic. So that wording came from them. So that's how that happened.
I think also one of them has more coconut flavor. I think the refined one, it's got a lot of the flavor missing. So it's like if you don't want your stuff to taste like coconut, whereas this, we kind of want the coconut flavor in it. So I think that's probably also, oh, a lot of stuff coming in all of a sudden.
Okay.
Peg says, I pronounce the T because that's how I was taught. So
really?
Someone's making chicken gumbo to celebrate Mardi Gras. Amazing.
Yum.
Peg made a wonderful lemon pasta the other night.
Lemon pasta?
Maybe you're the one that used it.
Is it Danny? Is it
Kay's?
Danny Kay's?
And then someone made okonomiyaki, sort of, for the first time this week to use up some leftover roasted cabbage. Awesome. It was yummy. I love okonomiyaki. We did that last week too.
What is that? I don't
It's a
even know what that
Japanese
is.
vegetable pancake where it's like a whole bunch of shredded veg sort of barely held together with egg and flour.
Oh,
and then you fry it, and then you do like teriyaki style sort of Japanese barbecue sauce and mayo on top. And sometimes usually bonito flakes, the like fish stuff.
Yeah, that sounds
It's so good.
fabulous.
And it's a really good way to eat a lot of vegetables.
Yeah.
Peg says yes. So yeah, Danny Kay's.
What? It is Danny Kay's.
Yeah,
oh yeah.
yeah.
You know what's so strange is that after I mentioned that, I don't know, was the phone listening or something? But I've seen so many recipes on Google and like, you know, like Bon Appetit or all those places, New York Times, all talking about these lemon pastas. Yeah, even. I don't know, it's just odd. I mean, is this microphone hooked up to?
I don't think so. I don't know. I think creepy.
So,
your phone's always listening. But.
Yeah, the ginger, you could chop it or you can use a microplane, which I like to do. You can also do that with your garlic.
Maybe it's that time in the season where everyone's craving something like fresh and light, and everyone independently just went, let's publish lemon pastas.
Yeah.
Because it's comfort food for cold winter nights, but it's got that nice citrus.
Yeah, I did. I made it after we talked about it for my husband, and he was skeptical.
Not his thing.
But I mean, it is now.
Yeah, you're like, that's fine. I'll eat it if you don't like it.
No, yeah.
We made a lemon basil shrimp risotto for Valentine's Day.
Wow.
Well, I say we. My fiance made it for me, but yeah.
Wow.
Same thing. We're going the same, like comfort food plus citrus.
That is fancy.
Yeah.
Right,
Peg says I added baby spinach and chopped walnuts. Yummy. That does sound good.
To the pasta?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. It's very cool. All right, this smells so good. This smells great. So I'm gonna add the onion and the garlic, but I'm gonna add the onion first because if I add them at the same time, by the time the onion has softened, the garlic will have burned. I'm surprised they don't say that more often in recipes, because really it's the truth, and you never want to have burnt garlic. No. So it's much better to add the onion first and just let it soften. You don't want to brown anything in here right now. So we're going to do this to about 3 minutes. So at about 2 minutes, I'm going to put the garlic in there. And then I'm going to add I'm going to add the garlic and the ginger, now that I think about it. And then I'm going to add the curry paste, and I'm going to cook it. I'm going to scrape the bottom of the pan constantly because it's kind of going to form this little paste on the bottom. And then in about 3 minutes, it kind of starts to darken, and then you know you're ready for the next step. So these are cooking really nicely. It's like a medium-high heat.
Oh, here's someone who's saying, how do you pronounce the words, I don't want to sway your judgment, soften or listen, often came to us as oft, so the pronunciation has carried over, but either is acceptable. So do you say soften or soften or listen? Because with those, you don't really pronounce the T's as much, but oft came from a different.
I never say soften, but I'm going to start.
Yeah.
Gosh, I really do want to start saying soften.
This is what you get when you come to city market classes, is linguistic lessons. I love it.
Soften is probably the best word I've heard in 2003. You are a winner. Soften. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be a t-shirt or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that makes
Soften your butter.
That's so interesting though. Often, and yeah, it makes sense because it came from oft.
No, but I hear like really kind of, you know, intellectuals or now wait, one person said they'd actually been taught to say often.
Yeah.
I've never heard that, but I guess people have because they say it.
Ruby says, I recently made pad thai. Instead of noodles, I used strips of cabbage to mimic the noodles with an organic peanut butter sauce. That also sounds good. Everybody's doing great.
I love cabbage. Ooh. See the garlic in like 1 second will start to stick to the bottom. So you gotta be careful and not mess around like I usually do. That's fine though, because we're gonna add our bouillon and so on and so forth. Okay, so also just to let you know, okay, this is a full-on dyslexic person, and so this is how I cook. I read the recipe, so it might look like I've never done this recipe before, which I could do actually. I was thinking about doing that tonight. Because we were thinking that maybe a naan bread would be fun, and I was like, oh, I never did that. I could do it. I always can do it.
I can read a recipe.
Just read the recipes. So that's what I'm doing. I'm reading the recipe because this brain right here can do a lot of stuff, but this kind of stuff can get confusing. So
I think it's important to read a recipe too. You never know. You're going to read through and it says like, set this aside to cool for 20 minutes. You're like, well, I wasn't planning on that.
All right, so now, what did I do with my tablespoon thingy?
You used it for the coconut oil, and then you.
Oh, the coconut oil. Oil. Okay. Oh, the old coconut oil. So I am using, well, 1/4 of a cup of the curry paste. Now, don't get all, you know, gung-ho about this and add more because it is pretty spicy. And I've done that before, just like, oh, more flavor. I'll just add a little more. And I'm very susceptible to spice. So for me, it was not a good idea.
You say that's about half that little jar, or most of that little jar?
It's a little bit. It's very annoying. That's maybe why I used. Because there was just a little. Yeah. Don't do it. Okay, I definitely messed up by just chit-chatting. I should have literally, and I was going to do it, but so ridiculous. So the ginger is the thing that's really stuck on the bottom here. So if I were rewriting this recipe again, I would say add the garlic, and then in the last 30 seconds, add the onion for 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, and then add the ginger and the garlic.
So this is good. This is showing people, you know, to think about why recipes are written the way they are, and it's okay to make mistakes, and it's going to still taste amazing.
All right, so I'm adding the curry paste, stirring and scraping the bottom of the pan consistently until the paste is fragrant and slightly darkened, and the mixture will start to stick to the pan. Uh-oh, I forgot to do something. So that's okay, because I'm going to just take this off before it gets to that part. See, I thought it would be fun. I even told Carrie, like, well, since we have so much time, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna prep everything. I'm just gonna chit chat with everybody while I'm chopping and peeling. But then I guess I forgot that maybe I should get it ready because I have to add the ingredients.
Do you want a different peeler? That's a julienne peeler.
Yeah, I do. I got it. different peeler. Well, let's all sing together, shall we?
Someone says it's soup. Soup is very forgiving. Perfect. Yeah.
So who likes Miley Cyrus's new song? Flowers. I can't stop singing it. Who's a fan? Has everyone heard it?
We're gonna have to wait. Remember the delay?
Oh.
30 seconds.
Who likes Miley Cyrus? I do. She's a little bit crazy, but such a great style and such a talent. Nobody likes her?
None coming in yet. Maybe people have their Miley Cyrus turned up so loud they can't hear you.
Maybe they haven't heard it. Okay, so my beautiful sweet potato.
We have more linguistic stuff coming in.
Okay, great.
Soften is not an acceptable variant. More words with the T, but not pronounced, like hasten and fasten. Spellings don't necessarily tell you how to pronounce the word. That's why second language learners find English so difficult to learn. In singing, you might pronounce the T, but usually you wouldn't just in speaking.
No, who said that? You said that, or somebody else said that?
No, somebody commented that. In singing, a lot of times they have you pronounce it, but.
I don't know about that.
I love this kind of stuff. English is, I've heard that though, that it's like one of the most difficult languages to learn as a second language because it doesn't really make sense in so many ways.
Oh,
we have someone who's not a fan of Miley. Sorry.
Are they very mad?
Peg says that she hasn't heard it, and she says, "Can you sing it for us?" But I don't know if we're allowed to do that.
Well, you can sing it. You just can't play it, probably. I can only remember the words.
Isn't it? Is the
I can bring myself flowers. Yeah. I can hold my own hand.
Something hours.
Stare at the sun for hours. Say things you don't understand. Something else. There's another thing. I can love me better. I can love me better, baby. On and on like that. But I think it's really cool. It has this vibe, almost like ABBA, like this 1970s disco-y in part of the song, which I quite like. I'm listening to it often.
You're just gonna figure out how many times you can say that word in class
and I'm
tonight,
singing it more often, and my poor husband has to listen to it all the time. Although, okay, my husband is 11 years older than me, very old, and I let him hear it yesterday, and he loved it. But he's a musician, and he really appreciates, I mean, believe me, it's fine if some people don't like her, but check it out. Check it. Okay, so I put that pan off of the heat, and what happened was that paste and the garlic and the onions and everything, they just sat on the stuff that was sticking to the bottom, and it just magically loosened it up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
So I'm smelling the heat of the curry paste right now.
Yeah, it smells really good in here. I say this every class, but I wish we could figure out smell-o-vision.
So you really need to keep scraping the bottom and stirring this because you don't want it to burn, but you want it to get a slightly darker in color. It's like almost, I forgot to get my glass of water.
I'll get you one.
You don't want it to burn, but you want it to darken and kind of get thicker. All right, what's next? Our lentils and our, I'm always touching my microphone accidentally. Thanks.
Yeah, you're basically pepper spraying yourself and you stand over it and breathe, right?
Yeah.
Someone says it's a 4 over 4 or 4x4 beat, which is the most popular beat. There you go. We have music people in the house too. Well, you're here, so.
That's what the Miley Cyrus song is? 4
That's
over
what
4 beat?
someone commented. Yep.
Is his name Joe Caps?
It just says anonymous.
It might be my husband. That's so funny. Okay. All right, so it's sort of coating the bottom. Here, you can see, I think.
Yep.
I can't see what you're seeing. So,
Looks good.
I'm hoping that that's what you're seeing.
That is interesting that it like loosened itself up with just sitting. That's great.
Yeah. I get a million of them. Okay.
You did that on purpose.
Yeah. No, it is kind of cool to see. You know, some people have mentioned that. You know, it's like I'm not like a fancy, like I'm not a fancy chef. Just kind of a fancy home cook, and so people have mentioned that it's nice to see when I make a mistake or struggle with something and how I adapt to that. So enjoy away, because it happens often.
Let's keep a little tally marker somewhere.
Yeah, I wish we could have like a
little chalkboard behind you.
Like a horn that would come in every time I say that. Okay, I think this is good for now. I may have to hire some staff that just every time I say often, they just come in with like a trumpet or something.
And then leave.
Okay, so now I'm gonna stir in the sweet potatoes and the lentils. So I'm putting the sweet potatoes in that I've chopped up, just a rough chop. And then my lentils. So it's 3/4 of a cup of green or brown dried lentils. And this does not have to be measured as if you were baking a cake. Specifically. And just, oops, stir that around a little bit. You definitely don't want to walk away from this during this point. Just want to kind of stay here. And okay, so then I'm going to add the broth and the salt. Now, who thinks that Morton and Diamond salt should get together and just say, this is how salty kosher salt is going to be?
Who had no idea the two were different? That's the other thing is
Well, for years and years and years, nobody said anything about it. Okay, so I'm putting, we've got Morton salt, so I'm putting a 1/2 teaspoon in there. And my broth. So I have already created my broth. My chicken, I'm using chicken broth.
So for the person asking about lentils, no, these are actual green lentils. These are not moong dal, which are mung beans. I believe they're a different bean. These are the small, round, flat, green, and sometimes brownish green lentils. You just don't probably want to do red lentils, right? Because they'd break down too much.
No, yeah, no.
Green
Too small, yeah, they break down. Okay. So, voila.
And for anybody joining late, we are recording this. It will get posted on our website. And for those of you who have attended a lot of our classes, I can finally announce that we are caught up on posting. So they will be posted much more frequently and without waiting for months. We have caught up on our backlog of like 60 videos. So this will be up probably within a week or two.
Bring the trumpet. Okay. All right. So I've got my broth in there, and I am going to bring it up to a simmer. And then actually, I'm going to transfer this over to the stove over there so that I can work on the dessert here while this simmers for 20 minutes. And then, so we're going to work on our poached cherries. And when 20 minutes is over, we'll bring the soup back over here and we'll add the coconut milk and the cilantro and the spinach. And then we're done, really. So, that's how simple this is. I could have made a naan. I could do it right now.
Let's go with the cherries.
Okay.
I love your enthusiasm.
Okay.
We'll save that for a future class. You'll learn how to make naan, and
no,
the pilot's already lit. The pilots are lit. You should be able to just turn on.
I want to do it in front of the class without ever having done it before. I think that should be a challenge.
We should do that for an in-person class to everybody get their actual like hands into the dough and rolling and kneading and whatever that.
Yeah. Okay.
Be like mystery class. We're making naan. Come on.
Who wants to come to an in-person class?
We gotta have some Burlington folks or Vermont folks tuning in. Someone asking, will the instructions to the recipes also be provided with the videos? Well, since you're watching this, you have the instructions already. Everything that I've been sending out has had the recipe handout attached to the email. So you already have.
But not the cherries.
The videos. Yeah, not the cherries. I will send that out tomorrow once I get the text of the recipe from Audrey. Because again, this was sort of a last minute surprise recipe. And yes, if you are missing the recipe handout for whatever reason, feel free to email me and I can send it to you. But yes, you should already have it.
Okay.
Yeah, someone says naan or paratha, which is another like Indian flatbread. So we could totally do that off the cuff.
Yeah, okay. That sounds fun. For you guys. No, fun for me. Very fun for me. I do that all the time. I don't know why doing it in front of a live audience would be that much scarier. I could do it. I can do it.
Our classes, as you know, are very sort of casual and everybody just having fun in the kitchen together. So we could totally do it.
Okay, so this cherry dessert is even more simple than the last thing that we're making. Usually I would use fresh cherries with this, but it is the middle of winter. And Carrie told me that they have these beautiful frozen dark cherries, sweet cherries here at City Market. So we decided to go with that. So that's what we're doing. I forgot to open this. So this only takes about 5 minutes. So we've got 20 minutes for the soup. Is it time for a song and dance? Okay, well, let's see.
Well, we already had a song. You can dance.
Already had a song, yeah. All right. Okay. So this is, I'm making half the recipe today because it's just Carrie and I. Although really I should have made the whole thing because it's so good. So in the recipe, I'm just going to look at this because I changed it for half a recipe, but it's 2.5 cups of red wine. It doesn't have to be the fanciest red wine, but it certainly should not be, a red wine that you wouldn't drink. We're using a Cabernet Sauvignon. You could poach pears with this. That's also a super delicious and simple dessert. And then we're using a cup of sugar, not today, but this is the basic recipe. A strip of orange zest, 2 pounds of sweet pitted cherries. The other nice thing about these frozen cherries is that they're already pitted.
That is definitely a pain in the butt.
I'm sure you all know about mascarpone cheese. It is nectar of the gods. Use it whenever you can. That's what's in tiramisu. What else is it in?
Isn't it It's not in cannoli, right? That's like ricotta.
No, yeah. Anyways, just get some. Just eat it right out of the thing. Or put the honey in it. So, and then this is 2.5 tablespoons of honey. But I'm doing half. So I just have to go over and get the honey real quick. Okay, so I'm putting my pot on, and oh, sorry, did I say sugar? Yeah, I did. Okay, so I'm gonna combine the wine, the sugar, and the zest, and bring that to a simmer over moderately high heat.
So Alice is asking, where in the supermarket do you find mascarpone? If you're shopping with us, we have it at the cheese case.
In the cheese, most times it is in the cheese case. You'll be looking and looking and looking by the heavy cream and
the yogurt or whatever,
all that sort of stuff, and it's not over there, the cream cheese and all that stuff, but it's in the cheese, in the nice cheese section.
Yeah, so we have it, it's with like creme fraiche, mascarpone, and then other kind of soft spreadable cheeses.
Yeah.
You can also always ask if you can't find anything in a supermarket, feel free to ask them, because sometimes not everybody, you know, puts them in the same place and they might have it no weird.
Yeah, but it's a pretty common ingredient. You should be able to find it in most places. All right, so I've got my red wine, and now I'm putting in my sugar.
When Audrey and I were shopping for this class, we had a conversation about wine, because I just tend to buy wine by what the label looks like. And she was like, we need a red wine for this. I was like, okay, let's pick a fun label. I'm very bad about picking wine, because I tend to just like most wines. So it's like, yeah, this is cool. It's got a fun label on it. And then that guy asked us the same thing, and I was like, I can't really help you. I just kind of pick it by the label.
I know, I usually pick by the label too. Ridiculous. But I'm not going to drink a wine, even if it's delicious, if it's got this yucky label on it. I'll tell you that right now. Okay? Are you listening to me? I mean, I guess I would drink it, but I don't want it in my house. I don't want it on the table. I want a beautiful wine on the table. That is what I want. Okay, so I am bringing this up to a simmer. I'm going to peel a little bit of my orange. I should have. Oh, that's a nice peeler.
Yeah, I like that style.
Wow, that's a good one.
Especially for doing what you're doing, it gives really good strips.
I was just thinking. Oh, I wish we had the one that has like the 3 holes.
Oh yeah.
And then, because that would be so pretty on top of the.
I don't think I have one. Yeah.
I wonder if I can create like a real pretty little, just a couple little pieces.
Petals.
To go over the dessert. Okay, we're simmering. So, and now I'm going to add my cherries. And they're really just going to stay in here for about 5 minutes. But then you can take them off and cool them. So, but this is such a great dessert to make for a dinner party, because you just excuse yourself. And if you have everything prepped, which it doesn't take long to do at all, in 5 minutes, you bring out, you can serve it in these beautiful little, anything really, a beautiful little dish. I brought these gorgeous little coupe glasses to serve it in. And then you make this mascarpone, honeyed mascarpone. Is it mascarpone or mascarpone?
I always say mascarpone, but I think like in Italy, if you're saying it, there's a little bit more emphasis on the E, but I feel like if I say it and I'm not Italian, it just seems like I'm trying to put on an Italian accent, and no one needs to fake an Italian accent.
Yeah, you know, everybody downstairs has been talking about your fake Italian accent.
Like, who's the Food Network star? Giada. She always overpronounces all of the Italian words.
Really?
Whatever. Yeah. I like her, but yeah, she'll say like ricotta, and then she'll just talk normally. What do you need?
Ricotta. I just need a little dish. You know, I just started teaching lessons here, cooking classes. In the summer, I'm actually a flower farmer. Well, I used to have a cooking show in Los Angeles. I used to own a bakery. I've done a million things, but right now I do own a flower farm in Underhill, Vermont. And I came to one of the classes that a friend of mine was teaching, and it was so fun. It was outdoors in this really beautiful part of Burlington called Intervale, which has some kind of very historical, cool story, but I don't know it. So I'm not going to tell you.
I can tell it to you sometime.
And I just pulled Carrie aside. I said, can I teach a class? I could teach one with edible flowers. So that's what we did. We did our first class with edible flowers. We made spring rolls with edible flowers. It's so beautiful. And then decorated cupcakes with the edible flowers. And I had so much fun doing it. So Carrie just begged me to come back.
Yes,
so
I did. It was great.
So that's what I'm doing, because it's fun, because I like it. There was a point to the story. Do you know what it was?
No.
No. Okay.
It was a great story.
Okay. Thank you. There was a reason I told you that whole story, but I can't remember what it was. Okay.
Someone's asking if the tulips are from your farm.
Oh no, I didn't grow them this year, but they are from a local flower farm. I can't remember the name, but in the past few years I have been growing tulips to sell, but actually this year I decided I'm just going to turn this down a touch because it's boiling and I just want it to simmer.
The hot plate gets hot.
And it's probably almost time. Let me check on the soup too. Oops. I can buy myself flowers.
Okay, more song and dance. What's weird is that it smells really good in here in two different directions. Like it smells like curry paste and ginger and everything, and now I also am smelling red wine and orange and cherries, and that doesn't clash. It works, which is good.
Still boiling. I'm gonna take it off.
Yeah.
Has it been 5 minutes? I didn't set any timers. So here's our mascarpone. And I am going to, oh, you know what else I need? Is, no, I don't. Never mind. Forget about that. I was going to say I need some sort of a spider or straining spoon, but actually I don't. So
one of the spoons in your utensil thing has slots, the one under the ladle. So,
so that is a ½ cup of mascarpone. And then I'm going to use 1 1/4 tablespoons. I keep losing my tablespoons. I'm just going to use this spoon because it's, again, this, you know, oh my goodness.
Someone's asking if you can finish your tulip story about why you decided not to grow them.
Oh, that's there you go. That's the whole reason I was doing that, telling the story. Oh, well, I think I get into these things and then I overdo it. I take on too much and then I have to pull back. So I've had the flower farm for about 3 years as a full-on farm. Before that, I was doing it just growing flowers, and everyone was saying that I should sell my flowers, maybe start a business. So I just sold them at the top of the driveway in Underhill. But then I started the flower farm, and oh my gosh, I had like 3 different locations where I would sell the CSAs, which is just exactly like a CSA of food, or it works that way. So you buy, in the beginning of the season, you buy a subscription, I guess, of, you know, you want to get 12 weeks of flowers. So you get flowers every week. The freshest flowers, just like the freshest food that you would get in your CSA vegetable box. So I was driving to Stowe, driving to Burlington, driving to Jericho 3 times a week, coming home, picking flowers, and you can only do it in certain times of the day. And they're rushing around doing that and making bouquets. And then I also started doing events, flower arranging events. And that's another big part of my background. I did a lot of events in New York and Los Angeles for about 7 or 8 years. I did events. And so last year I started doing flower arranging events. And not only were they super successful and everyone just loved them, it's, you know, just like in my heart, entertaining. I love, well, obviously you can tell that I love to entertain. So I think I need to focus on the flower arranging events, do a little bit of the cooking shows, maybe not quite as many, and no CSAs. It's just too much work, too much constant work for me. And what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, some weddings. I'm still going to be doing some weddings throughout the summer. I do wedding flowers as well. Very beautiful. But not too often because I have to keep my brain sane. All right, so how many minutes have we been goofing around?
The soup has about 5 or 6 left, and it's 20.
Okay, great.
It was like 6:09 when we put the soup in.
So yeah, the cherries are basically done. I don't know, I never can tell if you guys can see anything. So there's a ton of wine in there, which I guess I'm just gonna have to drink, but not here.
Thank you. Yep.
But anyway, that goes into the dish. I'll show you. Now, I suppose I could plate the dessert now, and then when we're done that, the soup will be ready.
Do you do the cherries hot, like they don't need to?
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, they're warm. They're warm, but you know, we don't have to eat them hot right this second. I just don't have anything else to do while we're waiting for the soup.
Yeah.
So I thought.
No, that sounds great.
Unless,
and if anybody has questions, now is the perfect time to put them in, like questions about the recipes, questions about other food questions that you have. We're going to probably end a little bit before 7, so good time to get those burning questions in for Audrey, and I can ask them. And yes, like I said,
I could do a long demonstration on how to slice bread.
Hey, some people might not know. You don't know. Some people might go do something else while you're slicing bread, and like, I know how to slice bread, but might be helpful to someone.
Do the cherries.
Yeah. Show off your beautiful glasses.
Yeah. So as I said, I overdo pretty much everything I do. So for my husband's and my wedding, which by the way, he just told me today that this is going to be our 5th year anniversary this summer.
Oh.
And 10 years together.
Oh,
so it's pretty,
congratulations.
Pretty wild. Thank you. So I had a vision, which I always do, and I got everything for our wedding. I got it all at vintage stores, at flea markets, church sales. I mean, everything from the glasses to the silverware to the servingware to the serving platters to the plates and the glasses and the napkins and the tablecloths.
That's fun.
I lost my mind. Well, I had to polish 120 forks and salad forks and knives and spoons and soup spoons and serving spoons.
But
and
your vision.
Platters. Yes, it was beautiful. But please listen to me. Listen very carefully. Do not do that. Do not do that.
I'm sure it looked amazing, but all the
did.
work, yeah.
It did, but I have to say, I would never do that again. So yeah, I would definitely let these cool down. I'm a little afraid to put them in those glasses
Yeah, you want
right
me to
now.
just chuck them in the freezer for a few minutes so they cool them quickly? The cherries, not your glasses.
In the freezer? We could put them in the freezer, or we could just put them in another container also, like a bigger container for a second.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Either one.
Okay.
Someone's asking if you don't drink wine, can you substitute anything in this recipe?
I think they're coming out with non-alcoholic wines these days.
They are. We have some downstairs.
So you could do that. Also, you could let this cook a lot longer. So if you wanted it to be with no actual alcohol content in it, if you would just put the wine in the pot and simmer it at a heavy simmer for, I don't know, like 15 minutes, and it's going to reduce and probably thicken a little bit, which is totally fine. And then you're going to cook most of the alcohol, or maybe all of the alcohol. You could maybe look on the internet and see like how many minutes you have to cook wine before the alcohol is gone, because it really, I'm not just making that up. And then you could add the sugar and the cherries, and then you could eat it. If that would work for you.
I bet also like pomegranate juice.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Acidity that wine has without it being
Carrie,
alcoholic.
that is a great idea.
Yeah, someone else just commented, really good balsamic vinegar, just not as much, or pomegranate juice. Yeah, that would probably be good. Balsamic, like a sweet aged balsamic.
Well,
yeah, so we can't actually, because there's still alcohol left in this, we can't actually eat these here. So we're going to send you home with them. Because technically, we are, are not allowed to consume alcohol on these premises. So we will show you how to build the dessert, and then we'll send you home with it to enjoy.
Yeah.
What about grape juice and reduce the sugar? Yeah, that might also work. Or even just like cherry juice, right? You're already simmering cherries. You could just get a bottle of either sweet or tart cherry juice, and then I'm sure it would still be delicious with honey mascarpone, anything.
And another thing you could do is put a vanilla stick in it, vanilla bean in it, which would be delicious. If you're using one of those other substitutes, you might want to put something like that in it to give it a little more depth.
Someone says, love pomegranate juice. Me too. It's dangerous though, because I buy a bottle and then I drink the entire bottle in like a
Well, luckily it's really good for you.
Yeah.
All right, so if you're serving this, you could serve it in a bowl. You don't want to serve it in too big of a bowl, because even though it's just cherries and juice, wine or juice, that's enough, right? You don't want to eat.
It already looks really cool.
50,000 cherries.
The way it made the engraving look when you put something dark behind it, that's beautiful.
So then you're just going to add a dollop of your mascarpone. God, I don't know. I'm so afraid of looking at this video. I'm afraid that tonight is just not really as funny as I think it is. I hope it is. But look at that, guys and gals. How beautiful is that? You could just slip that in there.
And like you said, so easy and looks really impressive for maybe 5 minutes of active
You
work.
are not going to believe how delicious that mascarpone and honey is, and with this combo, just delish. So do yourself a favor, make it, please email us with photographs, and if you do try any of those alternatives, let us know how it goes. And
I always love getting those emails.
Yeah, and yeah, I've been getting some really fun emails from people showing us their the chocolates that we made, the truffles, and the bûche de Noël. And if you want, I definitely happy to post it. I'd love to post it on my Instagram. So just include your Instagram hashtag name, no, your Instagram name, so I can include a photograph.
All right, and that is your 20 minutes on the soup. So
Okay.
Perfect timing. So grab the soup off the stove. Yeah, it is always fun for both of us when you email us and say like, we did this, or we made these, or how'd they turn out? Because it's like we're all cooking together in person, even though you're all watching from your own homes.
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. So good. So good. And it's, I mean, there's so much, just a few extra ingredients that are going to make this go from like, that smells great, to. So those ingredients are, now I got this bread because I don't know why I got this bread. I was like, you can have some bread with your soup.
Carbs.
But
soup.
obviously you all know that.
Oh, someone says instead of cherries, any other ideas for fruits?
Local. This is a local bread.
Yeah.
This bakery is right here in Burlington, and it is to die for. August 1st. What were we saying?
Oh, someone just asked if instead of cherries, any other fruits that would work well with this method.
Oh, probably. But okay, so I mentioned the pears. You peel the pears, and then you stand them up and pour the wine around. And I think a vanilla bean would be really good with the pears. I wouldn't do like a raspberry or something like that because it would just disintegrate. I'm not quite sure. I don't think an apple would be that great.
The texture would be different, it'd be all hard.
Yeah. So I would stick to cherries and pears. But if you have a super great idea, try it and tell us.
I bet blackberries would be good if you did them just really, really quickly.
Yeah.
Like just basically warm them up in the wine rather than simmering them and poaching them.
Yeah.
They're a little bit tougher than raspberries. I think you're right, would just turn into mush.
That's true. And yeah, even with these frozen cherries, I probably didn't even have to simmer them for 5 minutes because they were kind of not cooked, but they were somehow a little mushier. Okay, so here we go with the next part of the soup, which is that we are going to add the coconut milk, return to a simmer, add the spinach, the tiny bit of fish sauce, which just gives it this little extra, and we're going to taste it for seasoning, and then we're going to serve it and put a little cilantro on it and a squeeze of lime juice and a slice of bread. And that's what we're going to do.
Oh, somebody said, what about peaches?
Peaches. That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. Peaches,
you know what, though? I think peaches would be better in some sort of sweet white wine, like Muscadet. Is that what it's called? I think peaches would be really good in a white wine, or now my mind says.
Yeah, like white wine and lemon instead of red wine and orange. It'd be a much more like summery.
White wine, or just with a Sabayon sauce.
Yeah.
Like, which is like, I have to Google that exactly, but I think there is something like champagne or white wine in that sauce. But maybe they could be just poached just for a moment, a brief moment of poaching. Okay, I am adding the coconut milk. And this is unsweetened, absolutely very important, unsweetened and full fat, preferably. You want to use low fat, oh, go ahead, but I wouldn't.
Sabayon usually is Marsala wine.
Marsala wine. Okay.
So a sweet. Yeah.
A sweet wine.
That would be so good. Oh.
Right? Yeah. All right. So, God, you can really see this is really kind of cool. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
You can see the greenness of the green curry when
Against
I put put that in. So I'm just gonna mix this around until it incorporates. This gives it such a richness. It doesn't taste, it has such a great mouthfeel. Mm-hmm. Before adding this coconut milk is sort of like water and lentils water and chicken broth is basically water. But now, it's heavenly. All right, and I'm just going to this over here so I can chop a little cilantro. So, and you don't even have to chop it. You could just put a couple of leaves on top. Or you could chop it if you like. But a rough chop. Mm-hmm. But really, this is so much prettier than just little slivers. And I mean, if you're impatient, you could use a whisk a little bit, but really just a few minutes in here, and you can see it's all coming together. Yeah. So I'm gonna let that come to a simmer.
Definitely make sure you get unsweetened coconut milk, because they do sell in very similar looking cans stuff that's used more for desserts, and that would not be good in this soup.
No. So I've got this local organic baby spinach, and we're going to use about 8 cups. It sounds like a lot, but you know how spinach wilts down. And
4 cups.
Or 4 cups, sorry.
But that probably is 4 cups there, right?
This is
loosely packed.
What's that?
I'm so bad at measuring spinach, because to me, loosely packed is like, that's so, that's to your own judgment.
Let's just see. This might be 4 cups right here. I might have gotten a little too much. Did it say loosely packed?
Yep. So 4 cups loosely packed baby spinach.
Yeah. Okay. This is 4 cups. I don't need to use all that spinach. There. Okay.
Wow. It's less than I thought.
Okay, so we're simmering. Is my mom watching?
I don't know.
She probably doesn't know how to, or maybe she does.
She can chime in if she is. Let me know, because otherwise it just shows me anonymous usually. So. Oh,
if my mother is on there, you can say something like, "I am Audrey's mother."
Now everyone's gonna type that in.
No,
I'm Spartacus.
Okay.
Anyone have any questions for Audrey at this point? Like I said, we're probably going to end a little bit before 7, so don't want to have anybody miss their chance to get their questions answered.
Oh, I picked up the not sharp knife.
Maybe like March 1st, I'll come in late and I'll just be like, all right, this is the month of sharp knives again. All
right, so we don't really want to cook this too much longer because we don't want the lentils to break down and just become mush. And the sweet potatoes too, we don't want them to become just plain old mush. I'm gonna taste it for seasoning. And, ooh. And then I'm gonna, wait a minute. Oh yeah, I gotta add the, very good. I definitely would not put any more curry in because it would be too spicy. So I'm just dumping the spinach in. It's going to wilt instantaneously. I wonder what Martha says. Isn't Martha's voice crazy?
Wonder what Martha says about what?
Often.
Ah. That's it. I gotta go watch hours of Martha Stewart content until she says that word and see how she says it.
I'm sure she says the T.
Yeah.
I mean, where does that voice of hers come from, honestly? I mean, of course, I admire her in many ways. And I've watched her often. Right. But she does have a strange way of speaking. Okay, and now we're adding the minuscule amount of fish sauce, half a teaspoon. Is this a half a teaspoon? No. Here we go.
Yeah, and so for folks who've never really used fish sauce before, this doesn't really make it taste fishy.
No. It
just adds kind of depth of flavor and umami. And so if you're worried about like, oh, fishy, not until you start adding, tablespoons full.
Okay, now look how beautiful this is.
Oh yeah, like the bright green and the bright orange.
Yeah. Okay, so now this really is good with a crusty loaf of bread. And a serrated knife. I'm sure most of you would know about using a serrated knife. I like to cut on the diagonal when I'm having a baguette, something like this, because it actually makes a longer piece of bread. If you cut it this way, your bread is only this long. So, keeping those hands out of the way.
Peg asks, is there a brand of fish sauce that you would recommend? Do you have a favorite?
I do. I think it's called Red.
Red Boat?
Red Boat,
yep.
Yeah. Yes.
We sell both of them here. We sell Red Boat and we sell Thai Kitchen, and they're both good, but Red Boat's definitely a favorite among a lot of people.
Yeah. There you go. That's incredible that I remembered.
Yeah, that was great. This is just the one that we happen to have in the cabinet. If Audrey had needed more fish sauce, we would have gotten the other one. But.
This brand of all of these products, this brand is totally fine.
Yeah, this is the same brand as the curry paste, right? Thai Kitchen?
Yeah. We make all sorts of delicious things like that. So, this is our simple, warm and hearty, delicious
I love
meal.
soup recipes like this that are somehow both hearty and light at the same time. Like this isn't going to feel super heavy, but it's going to feel nice.
No, you're going to feel healthy as heck, and and not like so full. But then you are going to see you're so full because you're going to get up and you're going to eat more of it because it's so delicious. Beautiful. So you can just dunk that bread right in there. And let me just take this off the heat. Now, I hope this wasn't super boring for everybody because I wanted to make something simple because a lot of, there were requests for simple dishes. And then we were like, oh, it's going to be over in half an hour. So I just thought I would, have some fun with you guys, share some time with you, show you this neat dessert. And I hope that you try this. Please let us know if you do try any of those different things like a different fruit in the wine or a different juice for the cherries and a different kind of curry for the soup. And we'd love to get the feedback from you.
Yeah.
And I hope that you're all going to have a great end of winter, beginning of spring. And it's great to be here with you. And thanks so much. And see you soon.
Yeah, thanks everybody. A couple logistic things for me and then we'll wrap up for the night. I'll send a survey link out tomorrow and I'll also send out, like I said, I'll get the recipe for the dessert from Audrey and send that out so that you all can have the quantities for that. Again, those survey responses really help us know what people are looking for in future live streams. So if you have specific recipe ideas that you want, help with or anything like that, definitely the more detail, the better. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I love offering these classes. Our March classes are up on our calendar already. Audrey's going to teach again in March, right at the end of the month. So check that out and sign up for that one. And I think that's it from me. I'll let everybody go a few minutes early. Thank you all so much. And I hope, like Audrey said, that you enjoy the rest of your winter as we head into early spring. Bye, everybody.